Welcome to the Millennial Kingdom, where we take positive lessons we learn from anime and figure out ways to apply them in our own lives to become our highest versions. As most of you guys know, right now we are hosting our 30-day AYANOKOJI challenge, which is being hosted by yours truly, MK Brad, from December 7th to January 6th. A lot of you guys are smart and want to adopt some of the positive habits that AYANOKOJI possesses in order to achieve intelligent results in your own life. Now imagine if AYANOKOJI himself had a set schedule in place for his day-to-day life, and this daily schedule is what allowed him to become successful in the first place, right? As we know, AYANOKOJI is a voracious reader. Now imagine he read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and then AYANOKOJI dedicated to write out a daily schedule for himself that would allow him to become who we know him as, an absolute genius. If AYANOKOJI KIYOTAKA had a daily routine, what would it look like? While enjoying my time watching Classroom of the Elite, my awareness never fails to pick up on the more subtle things, and I couldn't help but to write out a potential daily routine that would be similar to the day-to-day we saw AYANOKOJI employ throughout the episodes in the show. Before we hop into it, be sure to check out my free official Sasuke Uchiha course. If you love this type of information, we go 100 times deeper inside our beloved Millennial Kingdom Patreon, and of course, join our Millennial Kingdom Discord Brotherhood for a community of like-minded individuals. Let's get straight into it. It is 8:30 a.m. in the morning. AYANOKOJI just woke up. He wipes his eyes, but is a robot, so he doesn't yawn. AYANOKOJI grabs for his journal right next to his nightstand and immediately begins writing down his dreams for that night, knowing that by keeping a dream journal, he will easily and naturally be training his memory recollection, which will train his awareness and by extension, make him a great potential influencer or persuader. It's Saturday, no class today. AYANOKOJI asks himself, what should I work on? See, this is where the powerful habits AYANOKOJI possesses begin to take place. One of the first things we notice about AYANOKOJI is his physique, right? Remember early on in season 1 of Classroom of the Elite when Horikita questions AYANOKOJI about his physique and was like, dang, why are you so ripped? Well guys, bodies don't build themselves. It is an absolute certainty that AYANOKOJI would be hitting the gym in real life. And it's different for every human being, right? I'm a night person, but many studies and books speak on the fact that working out in the morning holds the highest physical benefits. AYANOKOJI, without a shadow of a doubt, is athletic, and being able to perform physically, or at least be physically prepared for life, is something that AYANOKOJI would never shy away from. Point being, AYANOKOJI's daily routine at some point is going to consist of working on physical prowess. So if you're trying to adopt the routine of AYANOKOJI, start lifting weights, bro. It's now 11 a.m. AYANOKOJI has already grabbed a small omelet for breakfast. Now, I don't know why I could picture AYANOKOJI doing this, but screw it, I'm gonna add it in anyways. AYANOKOJI would then take a daily meditative walk. Meditative walks are known to be one thing that very intense intellects do in order to clear their heads and center their minds. AYANOKOJI KIYOTAKA, being an individual that values a strong, clear mind, I'm sure would not mind a walk on the local trail, recentering his attention and placing himself back into the present moment. Walks have a powerful tendency to free the mind for imagination and clear thinking. Someone like a Steve Jobs was said to get his greatest ideas from taking long walks. Noon hits and now AYANOKOJI's back at home reading a book when all of a sudden his phone buzzes. AYANOKOJI low-key ignores it. He's reading Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. There's really no need to be distracted right now. But then his phone buzzes again. Damn it, AYANOKOJI thinks. Who keeps texting me? AYANOKOJI picks up his phone, hits the power button. It's Yosuke. The first message says, we're meeting up at Town Hall Cafe for lunch. A second message says, would love to see you there. AYANOKOJI sighs. He's really into his book and low-key wants to be indoors for the day, but this is the third time Yosuke has invited him out, and the previous 2 times, AYANOKOJI didn't show up. In his head, AYANOKOJI knows he should probably pull through. At this point, it would be rude if he didn't show up. Hey, at least he can train his awareness and see what's up with Horikita. She's been acting off lately. It's now 1:15 p.m. in the evening and AYANOKOJI is eating a bite with his friends. Yosuke is cracking jokes, Kushida's overly laughing at things that aren't funny, Sakura is quiet as always. Everything seems normal. AYANOKOJI then remembers the last video he watched from MK Brad. MK was speaking on training observational awareness, and shoot, AYANOKOJI thinks, I'm not really engaged in the conversation, and I definitely don't want to be here. Might as well practice. AYANOKOJI turns his Sharingan on and analyzes the environment around him. AYANOKOJI picks up on all the subtle things taking place inside the entire cafe. The group across the room are all loud and jovial. AYANOKOJI studies their facial features. They look like students from Class B or Class A. AYANOKOJI then turns to the staff behind the serving counter, analyzing their body language and energy. AYANOKOJI thinks. They look normal, I guess. Eventually, AYANOKOJI's awareness falls onto Horikita, who is sitting right next to him. He realizes they hadn't even really engaged each other this whole time. AYANOKOJI reads her body language. Her shoulders slouch and her head is down. It's obvious something is wrong. Hey, everything good? something on your mind? He says as he reaches for her shoulder. Horikita slaps his hand away while standing up from the chair. Everything's fine, she berates, then proceeds to storm out the venue. Everyone is at the table staring at AYANOKOJI, perplexed in every form. What the hell is that about? AYANOKOJI thinks to himself. Who cares? She's just a stupid tool of mine. AYANOKOJI sighs and then starts diving into his bagel. It's now 4 p.m. and AYANOKOJI is back at his dorm. He feels it's time to be productive for the day. He immediately goes to his backpack, remembering he has a bunch of work to get done before Monday morning, but after opening his folders and books, he realizes, oh yeah, I'm a genius. I already did the homework. I literally completed it 5 minutes after it got handed out in class. But AYANOKOJI needs some form of mental IQ stimulation. His head shoots up in excitement. Chess! AYANOKOJI sprints over to his desk and opens up chess.com, where he begins playing against the highest rated artificial intelligence the site has to offer, completely dominating the bot in every single game. It may be a bot, but he's AYANOKOJI KIYOTAKA.
What?
It is now 7:30 p.m. at night and AYANOKOJI is eating steak and eggs for dinner while watching an interesting documentary on YouTube. The documentary was called Understanding the Milgram Experiment, which AYANOKOJI saw was an experiment done by Stanley Milgram at Yale University, which showed that human beings will subconsciously follow groupthink and behavior even if they know the actions they are taking are not in alignment with moral jurisdiction. Wow, this is insane, AYANOKOJI says. I'll use this on Kairuzawa on episode 3 of season 2 of my own show. Everything will go fine. We fast forward to 10 p.m. at night and AYANOKOJI is finishing up Robert Greene's Laws of Human Nature that he paused earlier. AYANOKOJI eventually closes the book and grabs his cell phone, opening up the timer app. AYANOKOJI knows he needs to go to bed as he values deep quality sleep, but also knows he must absolutely practice his attention training, centering his attention specifically in Buddhist style meditation, removing all thoughts and forgetting all memories of the activities of the day, just simply emptying the mind. He sets his phone timer to 15 minutes and clicks start, and after about 7 minutes, he starts having flashbacks of the torture from the White Room and starts crying, and it turns out he's not a robot, he's really just a human. Alright, all jokes aside, if AYANOKOJI did have a daily routine, I honestly have no idea what order everything would happen in or how exactly he would approach the day, but as I included in this video, there are some keystone habits that AYANOKOJI would of course always put on display. Fitness, of course, we've seen his physique. Reading, of course, AYANOKOJI's been shown to be an avid reader. Check out my 10 books AYANOKOJI would read video, but also there would be some form of observational awareness training. Whether he's analyzing a social situation or the environment around him, AYANOKOJI's observational awareness is always on display and will get put to practice at some point throughout the day. Also, if I had to guess, AYANOKOJI would engage in some form of mental IQ training, whether it's chess or fighting or studying or learning from documentaries. AYANOKOJI is a storehouse of information when it comes to human dynamics, so of course he would be doing a lot of research into a variety of topics. These are all things that one could adopt into their own daily routine for massive gains in their own life of self-development, and of course there would be some form of attention training like awareness or something like that. These are all things I know to a core AYANOKOJI would have adopted in a real daily schedule if he had one. Obviously I left out the 8 hours he would spend at school every single day, but today was a Saturday for him, so ignore it. These are all macro things. If you think of any micro activities or other macro things that would also be in AYANOKOJI's daily routine, let us know in the comments below. This is MK Brad. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.